Good afternoon, everyone. We are live. Thank you for joining us today. Today, Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkens is joined by Jeff Hagan, Transportation Planning Senior Engineer for the City of Windsor, and Yami Garcia, Engineering Consultant for the firm CIMA+, Mark Winterton, Chief Engineer for the City of Windsor, and Tom Hunt, City of Windsor's Chief Planner. In a moment, Mayor Drew Dilkens will provide opening remarks followed by a presentation by Jeff and Yami. We will conclude with questions from the media. Panelists, please ensure that your camera is enabled for the entire session, but only turn your microphone on when speaking. Media members, please use the chat function in the Zoom screen to request a question, and once the presentation has concluded, media members will be called on to ask questions and your microphone will be enabled then. Thank you for your attendance and participation today. I'll turn things over to Mayor Dilkens to start us off. Please go ahead, Your Worship.
Well, thank you very much, Dana. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us here today. And we've invited you here today because the City of Windsor is entering the next stage of an exciting proposal to reimagine and redevelop University and Victoria Avenues. Now, this environmental assessment plan has the potential to transform one of our city's major east-west corridors by creating a complete street with enhanced facilities for all users, including pedestrians, cyclists, and public transit riders. And the timing for moving this plan forward, it couldn't be better. A number of impressive developments to turn University Avenue into an attractive destination are already taking shape. There's the $35 million graffiti project on the corner of University and Elm that is giving new life to vacant heritage buildings by converting them into new residential and commercial spaces. Another community anchor is in the works at the former Grace Hospital site, something everyone knows about at University and Crawford. And that's where Fairmount Properties plans to build a $100 million mixed-use development with new housing, retail, and commercial space. And these projects are game changers, not just for our city's west side, but for all of Windsor. And we need to make sure our public services and policies continue to support that growth. And that's why Council launched the University Avenue and Wyandotte Street Community Improvement Plan this year to unlock even more potential. Now, the CIP offers a suite of incentives to encourage new investments in residential and commercial builds along these vital east-west corridors. And I can confirm that a number of promising and equally exciting proposals for new developments on University Avenue have already come forward as a result of our CIPs, and we expect that this is just the beginning. Council is committed to keeping pace with this progress by continuing to modernize our public infrastructure. The University Avenue you see today was designed to accommodate streetcars. It's too wide and it's underutilized, and it allows a great opportunity for us to think of innovative beautification efforts that we can consider when redeveloping this space. And the pandemic has also reinforced the importance of safe and inviting outdoor areas in maintaining public health and individual well-being. Our own Windsor Works plan, it emphasizes the need to continue investing in infrastructure that raises the quality of life for residents. And that's why this council has committed $1.6 billion over 10 years for capital projects to improve our roads, our sewers, and our transportation. We have an opportunity here to repurpose University Avenue West and a downtown section of Victoria Avenue as dynamic outdoor spaces. And this is our chance to think big and with a view towards the future. With that, I'd like to introduce Jeff Hagan. He's the City of Windsor's Transportation Planning Senior Engineer, who is the project manager of the University of Victoria EA, to give an overview of the project. And following Jeff's introduction, we'll turn it over to Yami Garcia of the engineering consulting firm CIMA+ to present the latest design proposals for the redevelopment of University of Victoria. Jeff, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mayor Dilkens. In 2019, Council approved Walk Wheel Windsor, our active transportation master plan. The foundation of this plan is a vision of a future where Windsorites have a meaningful choice in how they get around. To achieve this vision, the plan identified a citywide cycling and walking network, letting people bike or ride, either directly or in combination with transit, to get from where they live to where they work, go to school, or shop. Our University of Victoria project is an important link in this network. We'll provide a comfortable and convenient connection between the neighborhood of River West and the downtown, and also be an important commuter route for residents living east and west of the immediate project area. So that's the overall context for the project. Now please help me welcome Yami Garcia of CIMA to give more details about the plans for University in Victoria specifically. Yami.
Thank you, Jeff. If Dana, you can allow me to share my screen.
Certainly. Go ahead.
Thank you. As Jeff said, the intention of this assignment was to identify what are the opportunities to change the existing configuration of University Avenue as well as Victoria Avenue to allow all modes of transportation to have the same level of service. During this assignment, we introduced different alternatives to the public and stakeholders provide us information about what they want to see at the end of this assignment. What we hear from them, it was very direct indications that protected bicycle lanes should be a must in order for any kind of changes to take place on these corridors. Similarly, identification of traffic volumes and parking that may affect these modifications will also ask for stakeholders and agencies. At the end of this preliminary analysis, the following activities and purposes of the corridors were identified. Public transportation with shared lanes or vehicular traffic, pedestrian infrastructure to support the AODA requirements, cycling infrastructure based on protected bicycle lanes, on street parking where possible, as well as beautification of the pedestrian realm with boulevards and streetscaping. An important part of this analysis was the determination that the cycle track should be behind the boulevard in order to facilitate the movements of pedestrians, cyclists, and protect them from traffic vehicular movements. So this is the main results along the corridor. What you see here is going to be expanded as part of the PIC that we are going to conduct tonight, but this is just a schematic description of the new crossway and corridor in the corridor of University Avenue. As you see, 2 lanes are going to be maintained with parking, a space for boulevards, cycle tracks, and sidewalks. How it's going to look all depends on the location of this of the boulevard. For example, if we have a space, you will see a streetscaping area for utilities, also more trees along the corridor, and the important part, the cycle track will be raised, meaning that driveways will be at level with the cycle track. In areas in which we don't have adequate cross-section to facilitate all of this, parking will be restricted, but the 2 lanes, 1 way per direction, we will maintain. And probably it's going to look like this. Of course, the spaces will be reduced, but all the amenities will be there. Finally, Victoria Avenue is just the section between Chatham and University Avenue. What you are going to see is something like this, that is going to show the 2 lanes, 1 per direction, north of University Avenue with boulevards on both sides and the cycle tracks. An interesting option is the one south of University Avenue, in which Park Street will be included at the intersection with a flex surface. This is something that is going to be explored as part of detailed design, but probably it's going to look like this, an area in which amenities and parking will be provided on regular basis. And that's for me. I'm going to transfer the material just in a moment to the mayor after indicating how public is going to provide comments. I strongly suggest to attend the meeting tonight in which more information will be provided about these results, but the intention is to have opportunity for public to provide those comments before finalizing the environmental study report, probably before the end of the year. Mr. Mayor?
Well, thank you very much, Jaime and Jeff, for the presentation. And remember, everyone, the public, the second public consultation meeting is being held online tonight from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I certainly encourage residents to join the meeting if they'd like to hear a more detailed presentation of this environmental assessment. And we also look forward to receiving your comments and your suggestions about the proposed plan until August 24th. And so for information about how you can join tonight's meeting or how to submit feedback, all you have to do is visit our website, citywindsor.ca, and in the search bar, type in University Victoria PIC or Public Information Center. If all of that fails, pick up the phone and dial 311. Dana, I'll turn the floor over to you as we open the floor for media questions. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Mayor Dilkens. Members of the media, at this time, if you wish to pose a question to any member of the panel, take a moment to raise hand using the button in the lower tray of your Zoom screen, and you'll be called on then. We'll just give them a moment. Members of the media. All right. Well, that concludes our presentation for today. Oh, forgive me. We do have a question here. Go ahead, Lauren, CBC. Go ahead and enable your microphone.
Hi there. My name's Lauren. I'm with CBC Windsor. I'm just wondering when this will begin.
Well, Jamie had mentioned that the environmental assessment they hope to have back to the city by the end of this year. And then Jeff, once it gets to council and is approved, it's a subject of funding. And I believe we have around $5 million already set aside in the capital budget to undertake some early works here. And then it'll be up to council to decide how much to commit over which period of time in our 10-year capital plan. And if I've missed anything, guys, please jump in and correct the record.
You certainly haven't missed anything, but what we're doing right now is the preliminary design. After this, it will go to detailed design. That process will take some time, depending on which phases go first. There may also be utility relocations before the roadway itself can be changed.
Follow up?
No, thank you.
But Lauren, just so you know, all of these things are absolutely required. And I think if you look at Cabana Road as an example, or even the Riverside Vista project, where you have, multiple kilometers of linear roadway where you're trying to change, there is a sort of a cadence and a sequence to it with land acquisition, which is not really an issue in this case, but utility relocates do require coordination, take some time. And of course, Mark and the team will be looking under the road to make sure that we're doing all of the underground works at the appropriate time so as to get taxpayers the best bang for the buck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Any further questions from members of the media? We have a question from Mark Brown, Blackburn News. Mark, please go ahead, enable your microphone.
Hey, Mark.
Oh, we might be having some technical difficulties with Mark's mic. Mark, if need be, take a moment now and type your question into the chat. Be happy to relay that to the panel. Thanks for your patience, everyone. Mark was wondering if there was a cost estimate yet to the project.
Yes, so the preliminary cost estimate that we have at the moment is 9.7 million for University and 1.9 million for Victoria.
Thank you, Mark. Any further questions? All right, I think we'll leave it there for now. Thank you all for joining us, and thank you to our panelists, members of the media, and those watching on Facebook. Immediately following this webinar, a recording of this update will be available on the City of Windsor's Facebook page for anyone who was not able to tune in live or anyone wishing to share. Thank you, and stay safe, everyone.
Thanks, Dana.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.